Hey, welcome to the No Pain No Gamecast. This is your one stop for Tiger Talk and Jason Jiu-Jitsu Jabber. I'm Dr. Tiger.
And I'm Jason Jiu-Jitsu.
That's right, and here we are. This is our first episode of the No Pain No Gamecast.
Yeah. So if you are kind of tuning in randomly and you haven't watched us on YouTube, we have a YouTube gaming show called No Pain No Game, where we play a bunch of different games and then make the loser do something awful.
And you can check that out at nopainnogame.ca.
Yeah, but really we wanted to do a podcast because there is a lot of stuff that we want to talk about that we're passionate about that doesn't necessarily make it in the show because it doesn't make for good comedy or we're just too busy hurting ourselves.
That's right, or too busy getting into the game, which is kind of a hazard of the trade. You get really into the games that you're playing, kind of forget to focus on your talking points. So that's why we have this podcast. So hopefully you enjoy. Jason Jiu-Jitsu, why don't you tell everyone what the main premise of the show is going to be? What are we going to be talking about?
Yeah, so I think we're going to talk about a bunch of different stuff and really whatever we feel like. Gaming news, memories and kind of nostalgia we have attached to video games, and even talking about our episodes as well, because I think there's a lot of behind the scenes work that you don't necessarily see in the finished product, and we can also talk about the punishments and just how awful they were. So we're still early in the game and we're not entirely sure what this thing is going to be, but we just wanted to do it and we just started making it. So hopefully you enjoy it.
Yeah, so let's get right into it with some gaming news.
Yes.
Something big at Tokyo Game Show 2019.
Yes.
Very close to your heart, Jason Jiu-Jitsu. Something you're very passionate about
God.
that we've probably discussed more than once on the channel.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if it's ever made it to air.
We've touched on it, though, at least once.
I think so. But
at least.
Yeah. But yeah, the Final Fantasy 7 Remake had a new trailer. Dun, 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 dun. And Dr. Tiger's having a friendly jab because I think I might be... Maybe not. I haven't looked into this. Maybe I haven't found my people yet. I'm not super psyched about this remake.
He's not. He is very upset about this. He feels that Square Enix has no right.
Oh God.
No right to make this remake.
No, that's not.
He
true.
thinks that Final Fantasy VII should stay on the shelf where it belongs.
No,
because he hates it so much.
No, that's not true.
That's not true at all.
No. So I think for me, I'm not trying to get too hyped about it because I ultimately feel like I'm going to be disappointed by it. And I'll tell you why.
Tell us why. Why are you going to be disappointed by this remake?
I am not a fan of Square Enix's hack and slash battle system. I'm just not. I didn't like it in Final Fantasy 12. I didn't like it in Dirge of Cerberus. I didn't like it in whatever other games they put it into. I'm not a fan, and I'm really disappointed that we don't get that classic ATB battle system.
Yeah, you like the old kind of classic turn-based JRPG battles that we kind of grown up playing.
Yeah,
that we're very used to. We don't actually see a lot of it these days, though. There are still some niche titles that still adhere to the classic turn-based battle. Like, I'm a big fan of the Atelier series, developed by Gust.
Yeah.
And they kind of still stick to that classic turn-based battle. But apparently that's changing with the new game that's coming out in October. I'm not going to get into that because that's going to totally derail me. I'm just going to talk about the Atelier series for the rest of this podcast. So going back to Final Fantasy, I actually really like Final Fantasy 12, and I know a lot of fans that is a point of contention with them because they feel like that was a turning point in the series.
Yes.
That's where the series went wrong, quote unquote, a lot of fans would say. Yeah. I know you feel that way. I know you're not a fan of the game.
To an extent, yeah.
But I think the main thing that the main issue Final Fantasy fans had with 12 was that it took the world of Ivalice, or however you want to pronounce it. That was so big in Final Fantasy Tactics. People love Final Fantasy Tactics, myself included.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but I still love Final Fantasy 12.
Yeah.
Because I thought that at that time especially, that change in the battle system was refreshing.
Sure.
Because a lot of these JRPGs, you need to grind. You need to grind levels.
Sure.
They added the auto battle, which was huge. That was a big deal at the time, having an auto battle where you could just go and explore the field. You don't have to really worry too much about encountering random enemies. Yeah. Because you're just going to battle them as you've set your characters to do.
Sure.
And I think another game that kind of perfected that auto battle was Bravely Default.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too much into that.
Yeah, I was going to say we're going off on a bit of a tangent here, but
But those were some of the elements that changed in the classic Final Fantasy structure that started with 12.
Sure.
I think it kind of more started with 11 with the online game.
Sure.
But they translated that into the home console games with 12.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of fans of the series don't like that, and we're going to be seeing more of that with Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, so like,
With remake,
and I
anyway.
think that's cool. I think my main problem with it is it's like that battle system. Sorry, Shane. We're getting Shane. He's talking to us
Shane,
off camera.
yeah,
He's totally ruining things right now, Shane. God damn it, Shane.
You're upset that they're censoring your fucking porno.
No, okay.
He's yeah. So
in
Shane's saying
case
that
you didn't hear that.
Yeah, he's upset that the breast reduction of Tifa.
No, I am
but
not
that is
upset about that.
preposterous. That also people clamoring about that just
Yes.
as an aside here right now.
Sit down.
That just get out.
Just sit down.
This is not the game for you.
No, so like for me, I think why I struggle with this, like to me, if they want to do that system, power to them. You know what? They're Square Enix. They have a long, storied history. If they want to try something new, like have at it. But to me, I think that battle system, like that ATB battle system, was kind of like that was part of the gameplay experience of Final Fantasy VII, right? And to kind of change that is kind of taking away at something like
I see where you're coming from.
Like-
You feel like it's going to be changing the spirit of the game.
totally.
And okay, I kind of understand that, but I also feel that Final Fantasy VII came out a long time ago. We're
Sure.
looking at over 20 years ago now
Yeah.
at this point, right?
Yep.
So a battle system from 20 years ago
Yes.
worked then because of the graphical capabilities of the game and how the game
Sure.
actually worked. With this remake, we're going to be having a much more realistic looking Final Fantasy VII on our hands.
Yes.
Having the same kind of turn-based ATB battle system that
Sure.
we had previously, I don't think it's going to translate well to the aesthetic of the new game.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
right.
understand why they're going with the real-time kind of hack and slash battles.
Yeah.
I think it's going to make for a more engaging experience for the story.
Sure.
Because one thing I find too with like a lot of these stories, these JRPGs with
Sure.
this classic turn-based battle, is you're playing through the story, you're immersed in the world, and then you kind of have like a break.
Yeah.
Right? The combat it's random. You encounter a random enemy in the
Sure.
field. It goes to a sub screen. But I mean, we all grew up playing that. That's
Yeah.
what we were used to. That was the formula, and we liked it. But we didn't have anything else. And again, that's also kind of because of the times and the system capabilities.
Sure.
Now that we have, PS4, Xbox One, high-end PCs, we can now have battles like a battle screen that you don't have to translate between story and battle. There's no break. It can just translate seamlessly from the experience you're engaged with in the story straight into a battle.
Sure. Well, and I see your point. I 100% agree with you. Sometimes old systems just don't work, but I always think that there's a way to update it without changing the core experience. And my favorite example of this is actually Link's Awakening, the remake that they're doing on the Switch. So I got to play a demo of it a couple months ago, and to me, they make gameplay and like quality of life improvements that update the core mechanics, but it's ultimately the same game. Like in the case of Final Fantasy VII, I still think like if you had just done nothing but updated graphics, everyone would be super fucking psyched. And to me, like I kind of feel like we might be running into like a Star Wars like special edition situation here, where Square Enix has like. You know what I mean? Like I don't, maybe this is too strongly worded, but they have kind of the ego to think that they can make that game better when I think there's a lot tied into what makes that game great that I don't think they quite understand this far, like this many years later.
I can kind of see where you're coming from. I don't 100% agree though
Sure.
with the comparison between the Link's Awakening remake
Fair.
and this remake.
Fair, it's
because they're two very different games.
Fair.
And a remake of Link's Awakening, the way that Nintendo is handling it, it makes a lot more sense for that type of game because that game came out on the Game Boy, very limited at that time. Translating it to something like the Switch, just kind of updating the graphics, quality of life improvements without changing kind of the core experience makes a lot more sense. Something like Final Fantasy VII, like the remake going
Sure.
from PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 4,
Sure.
there's a huge, like, kind of, I guess, gap between what we had back then as far as JRPGs
Sure.
and what we have now.
Yeah.
One thing, too, that I kind of want to mention, Square Enix just updating the graphics and releasing the same game
Yes.
is only going to please the old fans.
Sure.
Sure, they want to please the old fans still, but they
Yeah.
also want to bring in a group of new fans. A lot of gamers, we're old, Jason.
Yeah.
A lot of newer gamers are much younger than us. They are not going to like a turn-based combat system.
Sure.
So Square has to think of this strategically as well, thinking, sure, we can release this game that, we sold I don't know, X amount of copies of the original
Millions.
Final Fantasy VII.
Billions.
Sure, we'll have those billions. I'm not sure billions.
Okay, maybe not.
Is,
But
is
it's
but sure, we'll have those fans that come in.
Sure.
But we want all these new fans. And
Sure.
I'm sure a lot of the old fans, maybe don't care at this point. Maybe they've outgrown gaming. Maybe that was their thing when they were, in high school and college or whatever. And that's no longer where they are in life. They have families, they've moved on, they don't have kids, or they have kids, they don't have time to play games.
Sure.
Present company,
Sold 11 million copies.
11 million
11
copies
million
of Final
copies,
Fantasy
thanks,
VII.
Shay.
11 million copies.
Yeah.
And to think about that, that's a game sold 11 million copies over a 22-year span.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, and I mean, how many of that 11 million would actually return to this? That's a fair point. I think that.
I'm turning him. I'm convincing him.
No, you're not, because
Yes.
I still think I'm going to be disappointed if I try this game.
I know you're going to be disappointed, but this
s-
game isn't 100% for you. And
Yeah, I
that's-
know. Well, it should be, like every commenter on the
every
internet.
And that's the thing though. Like gamers, I feel historically.
Rise up.
Gamers rise up. Yes, Shane.
No, but I feel historically, gamers, myself included,
Sure.
because, and I mean, I've grown since being younger, but I feel gamers have been a very entitled group.
That's fair.
I think a lot of gamers feel very entitled about, games. They want their game, they want it new, they want it with updated features, but they want it now. They don't want to wait, the development time cycle for a new game. And fans have been waiting a long time for this remake. This was first teased on what, the PlayStation 2
it was like
or
a demo.
PlayStation 3?
No, PlayStation 3. It was a demo.
Yeah, that's right.
Like it
was like a
engine demo.
Yeah, just to show what it was capable
There
of.
have been some new announcements since Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah.
So new announcements
There
in
is going
TGS.
to be a tactical mode in the
Okay.
game
Okay.
that will be like a Matrix-style slow motion mode.
Okay.
That lets you select your next action.
I
to help
do
you kind of
not like the
ease
sounds
you
of
into
that.
ease you in back into
Interesting.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like the sounds of that.
I might be able to play the game at
The
that
Matrix is great. Final Fantasy VII is great. Mixing the two together.
point. Yeah.
Wachowski sisters, tell me you're not involved in this project.
So one thing I will say, like that's part of why, but I also, the thing that I'm also very worried about is that they're not only doing the gameplay stuff, they're doing story stuff as well. So they've added in new characters. Yeah, I know. We should almost watch the Tokyo Game Show. Shane? Can you queue up the Final Fantasy VII?
I did watch a little bit of it, but this is the thing: is that I'm of the opinion that this remake is not for me. I already
Fair.
know that I don't want to say that I don't care at all about
Sure.
this remake, but
How dare they reduce Tifa's tip?
how dare they? Yeah, no. This is not the game for me.
Sure.
I've already kind of had
Yeah, that's
my
the one.
opinion that I'm probably not going to buy this.
Sure.
This is probably more so just a
This is great for a visual medium, eh? I'm gonna mute this so that we don't pick it up. But so yeah, play it, Shane, and I'll show you exactly where that person comes in. So this, like, if you had shown this to me, like 14-year-old me, I would have like creamed my pants because I didn't know what was to come. But like, so it looks like Jesse and Biggs are getting a bigger role, which they were great characters. It might give you this guy. Who the fuck is that?
I don't know. I didn't even know it was like he was an actual.
Rolls in on a bike.
Yeah, like wasn't there that whole biking scene where you're trying to get away
Yes.
from those guys?
Yes.
Like I thought he was just like some random street punk.
But yeah, look.
But is he gonna is he like an actual character that's gonna be in the game?
Well, I mean, if
Or-
you get screen time like that,
But he could
Is
again
that design?
It could just be like a random punk. They still have to design all the characters in the game.
Yeah.
Whether they're actually like have a story element or not.
but
right?
like in that scene, it's Shinra soldiers who are chasing you. So why take the time to design a Shinra soldier that's just a throwaway character?
But he's still a villain in the game. They still have to design all these characters,
Yeah.
right? Whether they're important to the story or not. So
Yeah, but like when you could just develop one model of the Shinra soldier and
guess.
use it a bunch of times, why would you develop a character
all right,
that has
fair
no
enough.
relevance
So, yes,
for one scene?
So maybe he's gonna be in the game, but like, so what? Do you have a new Shinra soldier that's chasing after you?
So again, this is like a Han shot first situation. Like it's the gall of Square Enix, and I'm getting really fired up now. But it's the gall of Square Enix to think that they can make it better, just like George Lucas thought he could make Star Wars better. And we both know how that went. So I am like, to me, like, if Square Enix wasn't two companies that turned into a shittier company, I'd have a lot more faith. But like, both Square and both Enix, in my opinion, were far superior before the merger, and it's just like, darts. Like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, they have to have mini games in this.
But
all RPGs have cool new mini games.
sure.
So you can't judge a game based just on the meat and potatoes core gameplay.
Sure.
A game now is also judged on the amount and content of the mini games that it provides.
That's fair.
Something as a break from the core content. Because if you have a game that's just, pure story start to finish, people will like that, but then they're going to critique the game based on there's nothing else to do in it.
Sure.
Right?
Fuck, this looks beautiful.
It does look beautiful. Shane just commented that it looks beautiful. It does look beautiful. I will give it that. Like, again, if 14-year-old me had seen this, like, I would have lost my shit. But like, I really want to like this game. Like, I'm really not trying to be a Debbie Downer on this. I have so much nostalgia. Final Fantasy VII was the first JRPG I ever like seriously played. It's the reason I bought a PlayStation. It's the reason I bought a
PlayStation as well.
So into JRPGs, which like affected me creatively and expressively. Like, I just like, believe me, I owe a lot to Final Fantasy VII, and I really want that to carry me through this. But I am so afraid that if I slap down the $70, $100 for the special edition,
$100, yeah, it's 100, more like 120.
But dude, you gotta get those pre-order bonuses, son. You gotta get that DLC,
Yeah.
brah.
So, I know. I liked Final Fantasy VII at
Yes.
the time.
Yes.
I feel that if I play it now, my opinion of the game will be very different. It's been a long time since I last played through Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, really? I played it like 6 months ago, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
The last time I played through was probably a decade ago.
Yeah.
So probably about 2007, 2008 is the last time I probably played through Final Fantasy VII.
Sure.
So I feel like I think when did Advent Children come out? That was probably the last time I played through it.
That came out a while ago. Like,
I know, it's
over a decade, I think.
long time ago.
Because I think I was in college when that came out.
So
maybe
that
in high
was
school.
that was the last time that I replayed Final Fantasy
Sure.
VII was when Advent Children came out.
Sure.
And I think that Advent Children was a good progression of the story. I don't think we need anything else.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII at this point.
Yeah.
But because it is so popular, it's everybody's
It's a moneymaker.
favorite. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what Square Enix is trying to do. They're trying to make money, and to do that, again, they need to bring in new players. They have to have new content.
Yeah.
They have to have things that are going to engage more than just the old school gamers, the people who are just buying this for nostalgia.
Sure.
They also have to please new gamers who are experiencing Final Fantasy VII for the first time.
Yes.
And that's why you're getting a real-time live-action hack-and-slash battle system, why you're getting mini-games, why you have beautiful new characters with majestic mullets blowing in the wind. You have, what's his name? You got Billy from Stranger Things in the game. That's why... Billy from Stranger Things, that's who you remind me of. Yeah, Max's older brother. Did you watch season 2 or 3 of Stranger Things, Jason Jiu-Jitsu?
Oh, yes. Sorry, yes. The punk, the guy, the beautiful man.
Yeah.
The beautiful man.
Yeah.
Yes. I just had a brief blank. Yeah. So like, I'm willing to concede that like I'm being totally irrational and hating. Like, not irrational, but like I recognize that all your points are 100% correct in terms of like why they did this. I just can't.
You can't get past
the disappointment, like the little disappointment that it isn't just a graphical update with those really awesome moments that I remember growing up. Right. I think this is kind of the danger with all these things when you were a part of the original run is that you just want it. You want to revisit that again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And get that same feeling.
It's that nostalgia. You want to recapture that same feeling you had, the same way the game made you feel the first time you played. But this is the thing, even like the second and third and fourth and fifth playthrough of Final Fantasy VII, I still didn't have that same feeling I had when I was... man. So the first time I played Final Fantasy VII, I don't think I was even in high school yet, was I? I think I was still in like 7th or 8th grade.
I was about to say, I was like 13 or 14
I was
when
pretty
I played
young
it.
when I first played it.
Yeah.
But it was other than actually Xenogears. Xenogears was the first game that I played that made me actually feel something right from the fucking get-go.
Yeah.
Like, that game drops, like, comes in hard, man.
Yeah, it does.
Like, Xenogears, like,
Yeah.
does not mess around. If
No,
you
it
haven't
does
played
not.
Xenogears, I highly recommend it. One of my favorite RPGs on the PlayStation. But Xenogears was, like, kind of my introduction to that, like, giving you an emotion right away in a game.
For sure.
That a lot, because games couldn't really provide that, or I didn't really play a lot of games because I didn't have a Sega Saturn.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a lot of really story-driven games like that
It's
when
true.
I was growing up. You know, it was the old 8-bit. Like, I didn't.
Yeah, where there's like nothing. It's like, here, grab this sword. Okay, kill this guy. Why are you killing this guy?
Who cares?
knows?
Just do it. So that was the thing. But like, I only had a Nintendo until 1996 or 1997. So when the PlayStation came out, when Final Fantasy VII came out, and games like Xenogears came out, that was my first experience of a game like actually telling a story, having me feel like actual emotion and attachment to these characters and the character I'm playing as in the game, and it blew me away. But playing through the game again,
Yeah.
because I already know everything that's going to happen,
Sure.
I just was like, oh,
So
okay,
Really?
don't level this character.
That's fair. No, level them. Get that limit break. I think there are moments, like there are still moments that hit me hard. Like that Aerith scene will always hit me hard.
Whoa, spoilers.
Yeah, I know.
Spoilers, Jason.
I guess
Jiu-Jitsu.
this new crowd. But like the other thing that always gets me is the first time you get the airship and the first time you hear that airship music, like chills every single time.
I guess that's true.
Every single time. I will say I might just play just to hear that remaster, like because they're going to do like an orchestral version, right?
Of course, yeah.
And kind of kind of imagine these kind of classic scores.
Yeah.
So I am looking. Maybe I'll just buy the CD. I'll just enjoy it.
do
I'll
that.
play old Final Fantasy.
Play the old game. Sit here and play the old game on
Listen
your
to
PlayStation.
the audio.
Listen to the new
Yeah.
soundtrack. The one thing too that this game gives me hope for is
Sure.
that if we're seeing an epic remake of Final Fantasy VII,
You want 9?
I love 9. I
Yes.
think 9 is a great game. A lot
Yes.
of people disagree with that, but
I
no,
do.
I want an epic remake
Okay.
of Chrono Trigger. When is that going to happen, Square Enix? Get on that
Man,
boat.
left field. I thought you were gonna go FF9 because maybe I'm miscorrecting, but you really liked FF9, right?
I did. I really
Okay.
liked FF9,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't say it's my favorite Final Fantasy.
Okay, fair.
No,
You're
6
six.
is my
6.
favorite.
That's the one.
6 is the best, man. You
Yeah.
got Cyrus, you got Shadow, you got
That downer
Terra.
of a midpoint or endpoint.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
man! That game also goes to all kinds of crazy
goes dark,
places.
yeah.
This is the thing. I guess maybe that would be maybe my first game that I did experience some emotion, but
Sure.
probably not to the same scale of Final Fantasy VII,
Yeah.
because it's different when it's sprites.
Yeah.
When you're playing an 8 or 16-bit game
Sure.
and it's sprites on a screen, it doesn't convey the same sort
Yes.
of feeling that you get once you have.
You have those models.
cinematics,
Yeah,
you
for
have,
sure.
Yeah.
That orchestral music. I will say though that I think that was the first time I ever experienced loss on that scale in a game. You know what I mean?
What, 7 or 6?
6.
6,
Where you just no, you didn't win. Sorry.
Yeah, I know, right?
World's fucked. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I think that was really, really cool on Square's part. Not Square Enix, Squaresoft's part.
When they were still part of EA.
Were they part of EA?
They don't know they were part of EA. They were like a team up or something like that.
Shane's giving us misinformation.
Shane's spreading false news.
Yeah,
over
fake
here.
news, Shane.
He might be right that there was a
Maybe
partnership
there
with
was,
that.
yeah.
I think he's thinking of Tecmo though.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess you know what I to kind of wrap this all up into a nice little bow, because I think we're just going to talk in circles because we both vehemently disagree, but kind of see the other side, but still disagree. But to wrap this all in a bow, I'm waffling between picking it up and not
He's
picking
gonna
it
buy
up.
it. Oh, you're gonna buy at least the standard edition. You're
Yeah.
absolutely gonna buy this game. You're too much of a sucker for Final Fantasy VII
true.
not to buy it, which means Square has succeeded. They have won.
They
They
have
have
won.
done- they have done
Evil
exactly-
has won this day.
They have done exactly what they set out to do.
Yeah.
They're roping in all the old fans with the nostalgia, but they're doing this new updated version. So people who are like, oh, I remember my granddad saying this was the best game ever. I'm going to fucking buy this new Final Fantasy VII game to see what it's all about.
The weebs of tomorrow, drawn in by the high definition Bishojo.
Oh, yeah, man. Fucking Cloud was the original Bishojo, wasn't he?
Yeah. But,
I mean, not really, but...
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
so Square and EA
yeah.
had a partnership to
Okay.
publish each other's games
Square-
in Japan and North America.
Okay,
interesting.
So
5 years.
Shane's telling us that Square and EA had a partnership to sell games in Japan and America.
North America. Yeah.
North
So
America,
they
sorry.
They traded each other's games. EA would publish Squaresoft developed games in North America, and Squaresoft would publish EA developed games in Japan.
Cool.
A partnership that only lasted 5 years. Who knew?
Partnership forged in the bowels of hell.
Apparently, it was better for Squaresoft than EA.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because
Yeah.
no matter who is publishing an EA game in Japan, Japan is still going to be like, fuck this.
Yeah, totally. Anyways.
Very different markets.
Yeah.
Come on, EA. It's in the game.
So normally this would be the part where we talk about last week's episode, but I don't know if last week's episode is going to be out before this. Who knows?
It probably won't
I'm
be.
still editing, so maybe you know what? Let's just do a short and sweet first episode.
Sure.
And call it at that, and we'll put some clickbaity like FF7 Remake, the worst thing ever, on YouTube. If you want to go see us, nopainNoGame.ca or wherever you might be listening. Who
That's
knows
right.
where we'll get this thing. But thanks again for listening. Again, I'm Jason Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, and I'm Dr. Tiger. This has been the first episode of the No Pain, No Game cast.
And we also have Shane off screen.
Shane-
we should also
Shane with
mention
Pain.
that.
Yeah,
We should
thanks for
name
being
drop.
here, Shane. And
Being
you
our
can-
information guy this
Yeah,
episode. But,
exactly.
let's see where this goes, and hopefully enjoy this. And if you want us to talk about certain things, you want us to talk about certain episodes, if you're on YouTube, feel free to comment, or leave us a review on iTunes or whatever, just telling us what you want us to talk about. But yeah, we will leave it there, and we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah.